They have the best squad on the planet, the deepest bench, the biggest stars, and according to every expert on Earth, they are the favorites. But here's what nobody is telling you. France, the team most people expect to lift the trophy in 2026, has one fatal problem, and if they don't fix it, they will collapse. Again, let's start with the case for France, because it is genuinely terrifying. Kylian Mbappé, the most lethal striker on the planet. At just 27 years old in 2026, he will be at the absolute peak of his powers. The speed, the finishing, the ice in his veins when the moment matters most. Behind him, Antoine Griezmann, a World Cup winner who plays every single role, creator, scorer, leader, the heartbeat of this team. And then there's the depth. Marcus Thuram, Ousmane Dembélé, Eduardo Camavinga, Aurélien Tchouameni, Theo Hernandez. This is not a squad. This is a generational weapon built for one purpose: to dominate the world stage. In 2022, France reached the World Cup final on the back of a squad devastated by injury and illness. Benzema gone, Pogba gone, Kanté gone. They lost half their stars before a single ball was kicked, and they still reached the final. Imagine what they can do at full strength. They won it in 1998. They won it in 2018. The pattern says 2026 is theirs. But here's where the story changes. Because France's greatest strength is also their greatest weakness. Kylian Mbappé. In a tournament where you need to win 8 consecutive games, 8 knockout battles against the best teams on Earth, what happens if Mbappé gets injured? We've already seen it. In the 2024 European Championship, Mbappé broke his nose in the very first game. He played the rest of the tournament in a protective mask. He was a shadow of himself, muted, restricted, and France went out to Spain, a team they should have beaten. That is not a hypothetical. That happened. And in a 48-team World Cup, the largest, most physically punishing tournament in football history, the risk is exponentially higher. More matches, more tackles, more fatigue, more chances for something to go wrong. France has constructed their entire system around the brilliance of one man, and that is a fatal dependency. But it gets worse, because the second fatal problem isn't physical, it's psychological. Cast your mind back to Qatar, 2022, the World Cup final. France versus Argentina. France are 2-0 down with 15 minutes remaining, and then Mbappé erupts. A penalty, a volley, one of the greatest individual performances in World Cup final history. Extra time, 2 more goals. The match ends 3-3. It goes to penalties, and they still lost. Not because they weren't good enough, but because Argentina wanted it more, because Messi had an entire nation behind him, because in that moment, in the most high-pressure moment in world football, France cracked. And that moment exposed something that lives deep inside this squad. A belief problem, a pressure problem, because this is not the first time. 1982 World Cup, France lost on penalties to West Germany after one of the most violent fouls in football history went unpunished. 2006 World Cup final, France lost on penalties again. Zidane sent off. A generation's last chance, gone. 2021 European Championship, knocked out by Switzerland on penalties with a squad packed with superstars. 2022 World Cup final, penalties, heartbreak, France and penalty shootouts 4 times in 40 years, the same story, the same ending. When the pressure becomes unbearable, France blinks. And then there is the third problem, the one the football world refuses to say out loud. Didier Deschamps, the man who led France to glory in 2018. A legend, a tactician, undeniably a winner. But Deschamps has been criticized throughout his entire tenure for one pattern: playing safe, playing conservative, suffocating the creativity of the most talented squad in modern football. In 2022, France played some of their worst football in the group stage. They scraped through against Tunisia. They needed individual magic to survive. And the feeling among fans and experts was the same. This team is better than this system. Here's what makes 2026 different. The tournament is bigger, the format is harder, 48 teams means every group stage game is a potential trap. Every underdog is dangerous. Every complacent performance could mean an early exit. You cannot coast to the knockout rounds and wake up for the last 8. Not anymore. If Deschamps doesn't evolve, France's extraordinary talent will be sacrificed on the altar of tactical caution. Now, here is the uncomfortable truth. Despite all of this, France is still the most likely team to win the 2026 World Cup. Because here is what they have that no other team on earth possesses. They have been here before. They have felt the pain. They know what it costs. Mbappé has carried the scar of that 2022 penalty miss for 4 years. 4 years of watching Argentina celebrate. 4 years of reliving that moment. That kind of hunger, that deep personal unfinished business, is the most dangerous force in football. And a squad this talented, this experienced, with this much left to prove, does not go quietly. So here is the verdict. France wins the 2026 World Cup. If Mbappé stays fit through 8 consecutive games. If Deschamps finally unleashes the full creative power of his generation. If the ghosts of those penalty shootouts are finally laid to rest. 3 very big ifs. But here is what I believe. This is the last chance for this generation of French football to cement their legacy forever. Mbappé, Griezmann, Dembélé, they know it. Their careers will be defined by what happens in the United States, Canada, and Mexico in 2026. And when a team plays for legacy, when they play for something bigger than a trophy, they become almost impossible to stop. The fatal problem is real. But France's destiny is louder. If you want to know exactly who I predicted lifts the trophy and which dark horse could shock the entire world, I've already made my full prediction. The link is right above this video. Watch it and tell me in the comments, do you think France fixes their fatal problem in time?